welcome to my class. Today we are going to discuss an interesting topic about the theories of corrosion. I am Dr. Zakir Hussain, Associate Professor, Department of Pharmaceutics, KLR College of Pharmacy. Now let us enter into the topic. Corrosion definition we can see here. Corrosion is defined as an irreversible interfacial reaction of a material. Irreversible means it cannot be come back again into its original position. So example we can say in the metals we can see corrosion, ceramic and polymers. With its environment, when it comes in contact with the environment, we can found the corrosion as a result. So which results in a consumption of material or in dissolution into the material of a component of environment. This is the definition according to IUPAC 2012. So we know that IUPAC, International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. So according to that international organization, the corrosion definition has been framed. Next slide we can see there are two theories of corrosion. There are metals, the corrosion of the metals, that is the carbonic acid theory and the electrolytic theory. According to the carbonic acid theory, which originated many years ago, iron is first discovered by an acid, even weak acids such as carbonic acid being active. So basically there are two theories are there, which is called as carbonic acid theory as well as the electrolytic theory. By using these two theories we can understand much better about the corrosion. First we can say here, that is the carbonic acid theory. According to this theory, the carbon dioxide released during the respiration of root cells, which combines with water to form a carbonic acid. The bracket we can see the formula for carbonic acid, H2CO3. The carbonic acid dissociate into H plus and an anion, that is HCO3 minus, in soil solution. These H plus ions may be exchanged for cations absorbed on the clay particles. So this theory explains that how the corrosion is going to be formed with the carbonic acid theory. Next, electrolytic theory of corrosion. The electrochemical corrosion of metals occurs when electrons from atoms at the surface of the metals are transferred to a suitable electron receptor or depolarizer. When water must be present to serve as a medium, the mediator should be the water. As a medium for the transport of ions, the most common depolarizers are oxygen, acids and cations of less active metals. So here in the electrolytic theory, clearly we can understand that to understand the corrosion, we need the medium, that is water as a medium where it can transport the ions. Depolarizers, we can see here the polarizer equipment from where the light source you can observe from one end. The light source is crossing from the polarizer, that is a linear polarizer. Then after passing it, when it starts rotating, we can observe the polarization, and on the other end camera has been set from where we can read the readings based on the motion of the polarizer. That is the arrow mark we can see here, it is from left to right, it is clockwise direction. We can observe here the polarization. So by using the formula we can determine what is the actual polarity of a compound, whether it is polar or non-polar. Next, prevention of corrosion. Various treatments are used to slow corrosion damage to metallic objects which are exposed to the weather. So many methods are there, but in this class we are going to discuss some of the important methods by which we can able to prevent the corrosion. Salt water acids or other hostile environment. Hostile environment means the environment where we can found the adjustable things are going to be observed. Such type of environment is called as hostile environment. Some unprotected metallic alloys are extremely vulnerable to corrosion, such as unprotected metallic substances or such as alloys are there where there is no chances of prevention of the corrosion, such as those used in neodymium magnates, which can spall or crumble into powders even in dry condition. that stable temperature indoor environment unless properly treated to discourage the corrosion. Means what here, when it, as we know the basic thing, the corrosion is going to be observed when the substance come in contact with the external environment, then we can found there is a more chances of corrosion. To avoid this, what we have to do, we can prevent the corrosion by maintaining a proper temperature, maintaining inside environment conditions, and again by this we can maintain the prevention of the corrosion can be done by this method. So several methods are available how to prevent the corrosion. We can discuss one by one here. That is surface treatment. One is the method, regularly they are applied for the prevention of the corrosion. The second method we can see, that is applied coatings. So third one, the reactive coatings, anodization, biofilm coatings, controlled permeability framework, then cathodic protection, sacrificial anode protection, impressed current cathodic protection, and anodic protection. So these are the some of the methods are there by which we can prevent corrosion. If you see the first one, that is surface treatment. What is this method? Let us get into this detail. When surface treatments are used to detect actually it is detect corrosion, great care must be taken to ensure complete coverage of the material for which we are going to study about the corrosion. Without gap, there should be no gaps, there should be no cracks, there should be no, at least the pinhole defects should be there, so that it will become easy for study the so we can go for prevention of the corrosion, that is by using surface treatment method. Next we can see, that is small defects can act as an Achilles heel. In the bracket we have written the meaning for this one. What is Achilles heel? A weakness in spite of overall strength. Means what? If you found any one of these, that is gaps, if you found not complete coverage, or cracks or pinholes, it causes weakness of the process. We cannot exactly get the results of the procedure what we are following here. So what we need to do here, then we have to allow the corrosion to penetrate the interior and causing extensive damage. So by using this, if you're not following this method, if you're not following the proper pinhole defects, if you're not properly maintaining the cracks, if you're not observing any gaps or there, then what happen, it will allows the corrosion to penetrate. Means it will enter the inside the material, then it causes extensive damage, serious damage can be observed. So if you want to avoid all these things, what you need to do, we have to go for surface treatment, even while the outer protective layer remains apparently intact for a period of time. So even though the surface method is we are performing, if it is there is a pinhole, if it is there is a crack, then this prevention method is not that much successful, they are saying. Next method for prevention, that is applied coating. Plating, painting, and the applications of enamel are the most common anti-corrosion treatment. So in this method, that is applied coating method, we are using plating and painting and the application of enamel. Enamels are going to be painted, is coated on surface of the material. Thereby what happen, the corrosion can be prevented. How they work by providing a barrier of corrosion resistant material between the damaging environment and the structural material. It acts as a barrier, it acts as a layer, or it acts as a membrane, we can say, by which the corrosion can be prevented. Aside from cosmetics and manufacturing issues, there may be trade-offs in mechanical flexibility versus resistance to abrasion at high temperature. So there is a condition. What is the condition? So even though we are going for coating or by using plating or painting, so there is a condition that in cosmetic and some other manufacturing industries, so due to their manufacturing defects, but it not maybe due to the plating or painting method, due to their manufacturing defects, even though we are applied coating, there is a chances of less resistance to at high temperature. Means as the temperature increases, then this applied coating method cannot be that much effective. So what we need to do here, so if you want to go for prevention of corrosion by using applied coating method, the proper manufacturing should be done for the cosmetics products or some other products where we are going to prevent the corrosion. It is not this method is not failure because of the plating or painting method. It may be due to the failure of the manufacturing defects which has been done in the manufacturing process. Next method, the reactive coating. So in this method, the chemicals that inhibits the corrosion include some of the salts in hot water. that is Roman water system and famous for their mineral deposits, chromates, phosphate, polyaniline, other conducting polymers, and a wide range of specially designed chemicals that resemble surfactants, that is long chain organic molecules with ionic end group. So in this method of prevention of corrosion, that is reactive coating is one of the method where we can use some of the chemicals as well as the water as a basic substance, where we can use the where we can prevent the formation of corrosion. Coming to the next method, that is anodization method. So in this anodization method, it is a very resilient to weathering and corrosion. So it is commonly used for building facades and other areas where the surface will come into regular contact with the element. While being resilient, it must be cleaned frequently. If left without cleaning, panel edge staining will naturally occur. Anodization is the process of converting an anode into cathode by bringing a more active anode in contact with it. This is the anodization method. Then biofilm coating. So bio indicating that the two films are used for prevention of the corrosion. So a new form of protection has been developed by applying certain species of bacterial film to the surface of the material or metal in highly corrosive environment. So a biofilm coating, in this biofilm coating, a bacterial film has been used. So how they are going to perform? By using this process, it increases the corrosion resistance substantially. Means continuous substantially means, but after using the bacterial film, the prevention of corrosion can be, the chances of preventing of the corrosion is going to be increased. Alternatively, antimicrobial producing biofilms can be used to inhibit mild steel corrosion from sulfate reducing bacteria. Next one, control permeability framework, called as CPF. So it is a method of prevention of corrosion of reinforcement by naturally enhancing the durability of the cover during concrete placement. This is called as CPF. The CPF has been used in environments to combat the effects of carbonation, chlorides, frost and abrasion. So this, by using the control permeability framework method, we can enhance the process of corrosion, and hence we can give more protection for the material to get damage from the corrosion. But there is it has been used for the environments to combat. So directly it is not applying on the material, it is applying on the environment. So it is affecting on the environment, where the carbonation prevents the chloride attack, as well as frost, as well as abrasion can be prevented by using controlled permeability framework method. That is the cathodic protection. We are continuing with the same thing. Sacrificial anode protection. For effective cathode protection, the potential of the steel surface is polarized. It is pushed more negative until the metal surface has a uniform potential. Until they get the same potential, means cathode and anode both will reach the same potential with a uniform potential. The driving force for the corrosion reaction is halted. Means until that time, the corrosion reaction from the cathode protection is halted, means it has stopped. For galvanic cathode protection system, the anode material corrodes under the influence of the steel, and eventually it must be replaced. Until the cathode and anode has reached to the equilibrium, until that time until both sides are get the equilibrium condition, the one metal that is polarized, it is going to be has to be polarized, so that it can the opposite end that is anodic position, it has to come into equilibrium. Thereby by using this process, we can control the corrosion. Next, impressed current cathodic protection. So what is the impressed current cathodic protection, called as ICCP in short form, we can say like that. For larger structures, galvanic anode cannot economically deliver enough current to provide complete protection. So thereby what we need to use this method called as impressed current cathodic protection system, where anodes connected to the direct current power source such as cathodic protection rectifier, The anode for ICCP system or tabular and solid rod shaped of various specialized materials are available. So what happened? This includes high silicon cast iron, graphite, mixed metal oxide or platinum coated titanium or niobium coated rods and wires are used for preventing the corrosion by using impressed current cathodic protection method. So in this method what we can say here, so by using this method we can prevent the corrosion. Thereby we need some external materials such as the high silicon cast iron, graphite, metal oxide, platinum coated titanium or niobium coated rods and wires are required to perform this method in the prevention of the corrosion. Next you can see that is the anodic protection. Anodic protection. So in this anodic protection you can see, observe directly here, it impresses anodic current on the structure to be protected. That is opposite to the cathodic protection. It is totally opposite. Next, it is appropriate for metals that exhibit passivity, that is stainless steel. But in cathodic protection we need the stainless steel where the corrosion can be controlled and suitably small passive current over a wide range of potentials. It is used in aggressive environment, means various environments we can use, such as solutions of sulfuric acid. So the anodic protection can be done by using the suitable passive current. Small current is supplied, wide range of potentials. It is used in aggressive environment, means for cathodic protection the environmental condition is fixed there, but here in anodic protection there is very aggressive environment is required. It also required the solution of such as sulfuric acids are required here, whereas in cathodic protection the aggressive environment is not required, as well as there is a stable environment we can observe in the cathodic protection. This is the difference between the cathodic protection as well as the anodic. Rate of corrosion. So this is the very interesting topic we are going to discuss here. Till now, before these slides, what we have discussed about the different methods which are available for prevention of the corrosion, but the topic what we are going to discuss right now, that is rate of corrosion. This rate of corrosion is used, this topic we have selected here to understand and to show that how, if you have done the experiment, if you have performed any experiment, if you have performed any one of the methods till now we have discussed there, after performing the experiment, then how we can go for calculate the corrosion. Rate means amount of corrosion. What amount of corrosion is available after performing the experiment, what is the outcome. If you want to determine that one, to understand that one, we are going to study this slide. Now let us enter into the topic, that is rate of corrosion. The formation of an oxide layer is described by the Deal-Grove model, which is used to predict and control oxide layer formation in diverse situations. So in various situations, when there is a formation of corrosion is observed, then we can observe the oxide layer is going to be formed on the surface of the material. So when there is a formation of this oxide layer, if you want to determine how much corrosion is present inside that one, then there is a test which is called as a simple test for measuring corrosion, is the weight loss method. The method involves exposing a clean weighed piece of the metal or alloy to the corrosive environment for a specified period of time. Means what here? We have to expose the metal substance to the environment for certain period of time. After exposing to that period of time, then what we need to do here, we have to wait, we have to understand here, then we have to get the weight loss, the initial period of time, what is the weight of the metal, and after exposing to the environment, what is the weight of the metal, that we have to study there. Then what will come across of what will come the outcome means here, the corrosive element for a specific time, followed by cleaning to remove corrosion product and weighing the piece to determine the loss of the weight. So weight loss can be, by using the weight loss, we can say corrosion we can present on the surface of the material. So here formula once again, R is equal to Kw rho AT. So by using this formula we can determine the amount of corrosion present on the surface of the material. So when right, so by using this method we can measure the amount of corrosion present on the surface. So this is the method where we can determine the amount of corrosion present on the surface. So this is most regularly and very regularly they are using method for measuring the process of corrosion. So hope you understand with the slide. So just roughly I will explain first once again. On the right hand side we have taken the distance traveled, means the time gap for the material to absorb the substance, and here is the concentration of oxidant molecule, the substance which has been come in contact with the atmospheric environment, how much level it has been absorbed. That is, one side we have taken the gas, oxide and silicon. Concentration of this gas, C indicating the gas, CO, concentration of oxide, concentration of the silicon. So from one side, from the gas, if you want to measure, we can determine with the help of the surface reaction. From the oxides, that is oxide thickness, by measuring the thickness of the oxide, we can determine the amount of the corrosion present on the metal. And silicon, there is a chemical reactions. By performing the chemical reactions, we can determine how much amount of the material corrosion has been present on the surface of the metal. So this is called as a Deal-Grove model. By performing this experiment, we can able to measure the amount of the corrosion present on particular substance. Next slide. Thank you for bearing with us. And this is the informative material provided for the upcoming budding students. As I'm saying the same word in every class, it is just as a reference material. Kindly don't consider it as a notes. It is just for a reference purpose. By using this material, you have to take the topic and you have to go for elaborate discussion. You have to go for discussion with your friends, and friends from the, you can search from the internet, you can take the material from the textbook, and some you have to elaborate the discussion. This part of the discussion is not at all useful for the I cannot say not at all, it can be useful, but not exactly this some points. By writing this concise material, concise topic is not useful. You have to elaborate the discussion. You have to discuss with your friends upon on these topics. You have to collect the materials, you have to prepare again some notes, then it will become the final topic for you. This is the outline. Just we are giving the information and outline view and overview. We have given that the corrosion can be prevented by these methods, and there is a formula, and how we are going to perform the experiment. If you want to measure the corrosion, then what is the formula is there. Then if you the graphical representation also we have explained that after getting the values, if you put into the plot, then after getting the graph from each individual metal where amount of corrosion has been observed, all these things can be we can understand. Hope you understand this class. Let us do some more informative videos so that it will be helpful for you, so that you can improve your concept in the subject. Thank you one and all. Please like, share and subscribe for the updated videos, and kindly comment if there is any suggestions. You are welcome always. If there is any because we are totally doing, I'm doing totally new method of explaining, that is through the slides, because though this pandemic time there is no offline classes are available, that's why we are going online. If you found any kind of suggestions or any information you want to provide, then you kindly you can give a comment, so that I will accordingly I will change the way of delivering the class, so that it will become useful for the further classes and all. Thank you all.